Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades, I hope you're doing well. Today, in another session, this is Kenya Revolutionary. I'll be here for approximately 1 hour, maybe less, maybe more, just depends. But at least I'll try to make it an hour or 30 minutes at least. I want to really speak on Rigathi Gachagua's interview in Kakamega and why I see this as a very, very, very interesting interview. It was revealing in so many ways, not because he was speaking against the president, but his solutions, what he was offering as, the way we should organize and agonize. That's where the questions came in. And the people that he wants to associate himself with is none other than the very people who have been basically surrogates of the previous Baba Taifa, Moi, okay? Former Uhuru Kenyatta employees. I mean, even Rigathi Gachagua himself, he said that was Uhuru Kenyatta's personal assistant. So that tells you a lot. Karibu sana Gypsy Corner, nice seeing you. Joseph Bedas, nice seeing you. Vipa, Tukopoa, Yusuf, nice seeing you guys. So I want to play this interview. It's pretty lengthy, but I'll go through it, then I'll explain to you why I have my questions about this guy. To me, when I look at Rigathi Gachagua keenly, this guy is playing a part of a bigger script. The feud between him and Ruto, to me, in my opinion, and I'm not right all the time, but in my opinion, just like I suspected, Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta's beef was fake. Now we can see. I think there's a reason why Rigathi Gachagua faked this. The difference with his boss, who is Ruto, and I'll explain why. Okay, in a minute. But we'll start with the video. We'll play the video, then I'll let you listen to what he said when he was in Kakamega. And but before we even play that Kakamega interview, there's something that happened in Nyandarua the previous day, yesterday. And if you remember, before the event in Nyandarua, Rigathi Gachagua was speaking at a public forum somewhere. I don't know where. I think it was in his Nyeri or somewhere. And he said that kesho nitaenda kwa function fulani huko Nyandarua, and I hope that mapolisi hawatakuja kunisimamisha, hawata disrupt your meeting, which it seems like he was anticipating the police to come and disrupt the meeting that he was going to have in Nyandarua. And indeed, there was an interruption, which wasn't really an interruption. Yes, it was, but yeah, I'll let you watch the video. I'm pretty sure most of you by now you've seen the video. But anyway, before I get started, ladies and gentlemen, brothers, sisters, friends, and comrades, karibuni sana. Tuingie hapa na tafadhali, the first order of business is to do what? Ebu you like your video mara moja, msingoje tafadhali. Like 100. Nataka like 100 leo. Ama namna gani? That's the goal. Like 100. So if you're going to watch this and repeat, please make sure you dunga you like, okay? And subscribe, subscribe, okay? To subscribe and share it, comment, and do all the good stuff. Even if you're going to watch and repeat, even if you're in the background, you are watching it and you don't want to get involved in the chat or come in the studio, that's fine. You can do that later in you. Shimariam sawa, lakini nitakwambia kwa nini I think kind of So let me play you the event in Nyandarua yesterday. What happened in Nyandarua yesterday, okay? Let's start by that. Let's start by the Nyandarua issue. Then we shall come to the interview by Rigathi Gachagua. Again, I'm giving you the full context here. The previous day, 2 days ago, the day before yesterday was what? Friday. Alituambia, Rigathi Gachagua alituambia ataenda Nyandarua kwa mkutano fulani, na alisema he hopes the president does not try to interrupt that meeting. Okay? And indeed, there was an interruption in that meeting. In your meeting, we saw that the tear gas that was Jamali Lobio tear gas, and we saw what happened. Okay? But here it is. Let me play that just a brief Nyandarua, then we shall move on. Okay? All right. So here is this, I don't know if it's a senator or whatever his name is. I forgot his name. Is one of those Nini ambao huko from Mount Kenya, the young folks who are really standing by Rigathi Gachagua. He was giving a speech, then tear gas ilitupwa. Let's see here. Hold on, wait a minute. Again, jamani, msiharibu wakati. Make sure msubscribe hapo mara moja. Haya.
Sisi wale ambao tunataka kuambie
Haya. I will reserve my judgment for now. Let's get to the interview. Then we shall get started and I will break down my thoughts on what he said, because I think what he said was so interesting in so many ways, not just because he was speaking against this government and Raila Odinga and all this stuff. There's I'll show you. I think I have 1 hour. Crap. Maybe I might not make it 1 hour, but I'll try because, you know, niko na my responsibility. But I'll make sure that I make my point known. Let me play this clip. I'm going to use this video by Mutembei. It's from Mutembei channel. So Mutembei, I'm using this for education purposes. Please bear with me. Flag ama kitu kama hicho. All right, so let me play this. The Ninio. Tusikie Gachagua. Let's Ninio. I'll be here for a while. It's a lengthy one. It's like 30 Ninio minutes. So let's just get to it. All right, ndio hiyo.
Mufikirie vile mtaunganisha hii jamii ya Mlembe na msukume kura yenu. Mkingangana kabisa mnaweza kuwa na 5 million votes. Na hizo kura msichukue tu siku ya kupiga kura mjitokeze, kwa sababu voter turnout hapa haikuwa nzuri sana. It is 65-68%. Mpige 95, 96, 97, 98 up to 99%. Na msiogope. Mkuje tuketi na nyinyi na Wakenya wengine. Tuunde serikali, tuheshimiane na tuweze kutatua zile shida ziko hapa katika mkoa wa Magharibi. Mimi nimesikia ya kwamba huyu mzee wetu Raila akisukuma kwenda AU. Nimesikia watu ya Rais Ruto ya UDA wakisema wale wachache wamebaki kwa UDA kwa sababu wanasema ya kwamba huyu mzee akifaulu kwenda AU atahana watu ya Western. So nyinyi kama mtakuwa watu ya kuwa handed over to someone else, utatushangaza sana kama wale wengine, kwa sababu then they are nyinyi kwenda kwa mesa direct bila kupitia kwa mtu yeyote. Itakuwaje nyinyi kila wakati mtapitia kwa Raila Odinga kwenda kwa mesa ya Kenya ya kupanga vile Kenya itakaa? Mkiwa united vizuri, mjipange vizuri kama jamii, mkiwa kura milioni 5 mtakuja meza ya Kenya direct bila kupitia broker. Hakuna haja ya political brokerage. Nyinyi mko na watu wamesoma, wanajua kizungu, wanajua mawakili. Kwa nini mhitaji mtu mwingine ndio mfike kwa serikali? Hii ni kitu lazima mfikirie kama jamii, ya kwamba ni makosa jamii kwenda kwa serikali kupitia kwa mtu ya nje. Nyinyi mjipange, muandikishe kura milioni 5, muungane, muongee na sauti moja. Tutakutana kwa meza ya Kenya. Mimi nitakuwa pale na watu yangu, nyinyi mkuje na viongozi wenu, watu wa Western wakuje, wale ya Coast wakuje, wale ya Rift wakuje, tuongee. tupange hii Kenya pamoja, lakini haionekani vizuri ya kwamba jamii nzima ambaye kura yenu hata ni mingi kuliko ya yule Raila Odinga, ya kwamba mnapitia kwake kufika kwa meza ya kitaifa. Ni makosa kubwa sana, na mimi ningetaka kuchallenge jamii ya Waluhya. Lazima mkubali ya kwamba nyinyi ni wengi na muko na uzito wa kutosha kisiasa wa kufika kwa meza ya kuongea mambo ya Kenya bila kupitia kwa broker yoyote, mkuje direct. Hiyo ndio ombi langu, na mimi ningetaka niseme, nimeona viongozi, huyu waziri Eugene Wamalwa, huyu Kilio Malala, huyu gavana wa Trans Nzoia anatembea, ni viongozi ambaye nikiwasikiza, nikiona vile wanatamka, nikiona vile wanaendesha siasa yao, kwa maoni yangu ni viongozi mnaweza tegemea kuunganisha jamii ya Waluhya na kuja kwa meza ya kitaifa kuongea mambo yenu na kupanga mambo yenu bila kupitia kwa broker. You have enough sons and daughters who are qualified to go to the national negotiation table to negotiate for the community without having to go through a broker. I don't know why a community as large as this one, with your numerical strength, with sons and daughters who are well educated, with professionals who have a lot of experience, why would you want to get into the national equation through a third party? It doesn't make sense to me. And that is my appeal to the people of this region, to be united. Si ndio? Sisi tutaongea. Unajua pale kwa meza tutaweka kila kitu pale kwa meza. Now, what we are Western, for them to have meaningful impact, first you must be united.
Now, this is what I want to mention very quickly. My first problem with Mr. Gachagua here, he advocates for this whole it's almost like, is it Majimboism? Well, Majimbo means something else. Basically, what he's saying is every community have to unite and rally around one leader. Waskizani kama, prop up their leader, whoever is going to be their presidential candidate or whatever the case is, but just unite under one person. Then, that leader can link up with another leader from, let's say, Central Province or other parts of the country who are doing the same. Then they'll agree on who is going to lead the nation. That's basically what he's saying. And as we listen, you'll hear him talk about the 30% of the resources that were supposed to be distributed to the Kakamega folks, not Kakamega folks, the Mulembe Nation. And the Musalia Mudavadi and Papa Aroma was supposed to oversee this, but since they were appointed, those seats that they got, they forgot about Mulembe Nation, so he's disappointed. But that's the thing, though. Again, what is he saying differently from what is taking place right now? That is how the politics is structured in Kenya as of now. We have a bunch of people, okay, these rich, corrupt individuals who use their money to influence the public to rally around them, and they prop themselves up as leaders of that community. Then they, meet with another conman from another area and shake hands and make deals. And after they get to government, they forget about the people. But they want you to, clap for them every time they come for Christmas or have an event in the local area, and you hail them as your representatives. We see this with Uhuru Kenyatta. We see this with Raila Odinga. We see this with Ruto. We see this with Kalonzo, and so forth, so forth. So if Rigathi is really pro-change, why is he advocating for the very method of leadership that we've seen that has not been working, because all it is, you're just perpetuating the same way of doing things, which hasn't worked, which I've spoken about in another session where I called it the ethnicization of our politics. It's tribal politics 101. Why can't a leader, even if it's somebody who's coming from Kakamega or whatever the case is, appeal to people from every part of Kenya and not come out and say that, okay, I want to steal first I want to make sure that the people of where I hail from, my tribe, when they rally around me, then you see what I'm saying? But let's continue. I'll tell you why this guy is full of it and is part of the bigger plan, and I'll tell you how that plan will be.
Why do you want to come through somebody else on the national table? Are you lesser? Are you the sons and daughters of a lesser God? Why would the community to go to the national negotiation table? Let this region be united. 5 million. Wale watu ya Lower Eastern wakiongozwa na Kalonzo Musyoka 4 million. Sisi pale tuko na karibu 9 to 10. Watu ya Coast wakuje, wengine wakuje, tuongee. Sisi hatusemi we have, tumeunga wengine mkono, sisi tumeunga Rais William Ruto mkono unconditional. Tuliunga yeye mkono unconditional. And it's a great mistake that I made as a leader of that region to go to support William Ruto without conditions and without a written agreement, because he has shortchanged us and thrown us out of government because we were not careful. And to give credit to your sons Musalia and Wetangula, at least they seem to have known him better. At least while he insisted wapewe agreement, although it has not been honored, but it is there. Na ndio nilishangaa nikiwa accused pale ati mambo ya shareholding, wabunge ya Western wakinifukuza. Mimi nilikuwa natetea nyinyi mpate share yenu. Your share was 30%, you only got 3%. Sasa mimi natetea nyinyi mpate shares yenu. You are promised 1,000 kilometers of tarmac, not an inch has been put. Mimi nilikuwa naulizia nyinyi hiyo. Mlikuwa promise Nzoia, Mumias itakuwa revived. Nothing has been done. Pan paper, nothing has been done. Mambo ya irrigation, nothing. When I was saying we had an agreement ya shareholding, Wetangula and Musalia negotiated a 30% stake in the government. Not just their two positions. Walipopata hizo mbili wakanyamaza wakatosheka. Mimi nilikuwa napigania nyinyi kama mna rafiki watu ya Western katika Kenya hii na katika shamba. When I was fighting for shares, yenu ilikuwa kwa karatasi imeandikwa. Mimi ya kwangu nilikuwa napigania na kuna mahali imeandikwa. Ndio nilikuwa na shida mingi sana na William Ruto. Kwa sababu ananiruka ile tulikubaliana a gentleman's agreement. Lakini yenu is written. And I want to challenge Musalia and Wetangula. The 30% that was negotiated for Western Kenya, fight for it. Don't be cowards. It is there, it is written. So, kama mna rafiki, mnaweza tegemea kwa hii Kenya na Rigathi Gachagua. I meant well for this region. Sasa wabunge wenu waka
again, instead of advocating for good governance and anti-corruption, a total overhaul of the system, he's still talking about regionalism. Nyinyi watu wa Mulima mukae hivi, nyinyi watu wa Mulembe Nation mukae hivi. See what I'm saying? Same thing Ruto is doing basically. But let's continue on.
Mimi ni mkabila nauliza shares. Na ile shares nauliza ni yenu. Ile mimi nauliza yangu is not Aiza anaweza ruka ama kini yenu united. And I have told you, I have seen brilliant sons of this land. The Honorable Eugene Wamalwa, the Honorable Cleo Malala, Governor Tebea and others. Please, back them. They cannot be strong in a negotiation. But if they come fragmented, you can't make an impact. And that is why, for the longest, kura yenu yote imekuwa kwa mtu mwingine ndio ana negotiate naye. Raila ametumia kura yenu hapo kwa serikali. Anatumia kura yenu anaenda AU. Kila wakati ametumia kura yenu. Why can't you just use your vote to negotiate directly? Mkuje muongee na wengine. So tafadhalini, let the community be united. Let the leaders who have shown the mean well for the community take the lead. Come, let us talk to people who are like-minded and who mean well for this country.
My name is we are happy that we are talking to our leaders. My question is, we have talked about one issue, is that the issue of shareholding, but the people of the mountain issues. But we have recently seen at the head of the state, President Ruto appointing some names on the mountain. Does it mean that those names are representing the people of the mountain?
No. You missed the point. The people of the mountain, the people of Western, the people of Kenya do not need the positions. They are meaningless. What they need is tangible development. The people of the mountain had negotiated all the projects ambaye ilianzishwa na Rais Uhuru Kenyatta, hii serikali imaliza imekataa. We have negotiated a good business environment. The government has turned against the people, demolishing their houses, evicting them without notice. Those are the issues.
Again, it is not the people of Mount Kenya to negotiate with the government of the day what needs to be done in Mount Kenya. What is the role of the MPs? What is the role of MCAs? What is the role of the governors? What is the role of the senators? What is the role of the MCAs? In every part of Kenya, let me just use the former 8 provinces. In every 8 provinces that we have, or every 47 counties that we have in Kenya, it shouldn't be ati watu. You see the kind of thinking he still has. Ni bado kama zile siku za Moi, we are living under where the former constitution where the president had unlimited powers. Ati sasa sisi tunakuja kama watu wa mlima, tunaambia president, tafadhali leta maendeleo huko kwetu. Watu wa Mulembe pia wanaenda wanasema eti hebu leta maendeleo huko kwetu. No. This is a devolved system now. We have a constitution that outlines how the national resources should be broken down. Who should get what, and where. And we have people who can advocate for that at the National Assembly. It's not your position as Rigathi Gachagua, the former vice president or the deputy president, whatever, to come and tell the people of Mulembe until you should be negotiating for 30% for your area. Ata nyinyi mupate what? You see what I'm saying? Let's continue.
Wamepatiwa kazi hizo ni zao na familia zao. They are meaningless, you know. Hata nyinyi, I don't think what you need are positions. What you need is 1,000 kilometers ambaye rais aliahidi atafanyia watu ya Western. Is the revival of Nzoia Sugar Factory, the revival of Mumias, issues of irrigation. How do we make sure the fertile soils of Western become meaningful to the people of this region? Because muko na rutuba nzuri sana, lakini we need roads. Tunataka barabara za rami, tunataka stima iunganishwe, tunataka madarasa ijengwe. Those are the real issues. Issues are not positions. And I can tell you, hiyo viti watu ya huko hata ikipeanwa ngapi, hata kama umesoma mitandao wanasema hata ukifufua dada ni Kimathi umpatie kuwa deputy president, people cannot change because that's not what they want. People want development. Na nyinyi you have already an agreement. Muulize viongozi wenu hii agreement, na nilitoa pale bunge, ukitaka copy nitampatia. Muulize viongozi wenu hii agreement ya Western, can it be honored? Sasa mnaambiwa the agreement has not been honored. Ati sasa Raila Odinga atahand nyinyi over kwa William Ruto. Sasa nyinyi mtakuwa ni jamii ya aina gani? Kwani nyinyi ni ile rire ile ya kusunguka ile ya kupeana kijiti? Sasa mmekuwa pale, Raila amesaidika, ameenda EU, amesema nyinyi mmenisukuma nimeenda EU, asanteni. Sasa kuanzia leo mimi siko bila mlikuwa mnanifuata, mfuate huyu William Ruto. Nyinyi mtakuwa ni jamii aina gani?
I've seen one of the party leaders, one of the leaders, and you say that you are here for Christmas and for your and we say that you are speaking on money. One of the things
Eugene Omalwa is a great leader, but the greatness of a leader will be defined by the unity of purpose of where he comes from. It is you to make him a great leader and propel him to great heights of leadership by being united. There is no way Eugene Wamalwa can be a great leader if you are still following Raila Odinga to show you political direction. You know, you have your own leaders who are qualified.
Okay, commercial.
By any definition, he's been a cabinet minister for a very long time. He's seasoned. He's a great lawyer. But why would you want to follow another leader from another region to show you on your way to government? Why can't you go to the government directly? So what we are saying, we'll engage Eugene Wamalwa and others. But his relevance in the national political discourse will be informed by the unity of purpose of the Luhya nation and by numbers. So lazima kwanza mukubali, you unite under your leaders from here.
A leader's relevance should be gauged by the kind of policies he or she is advocating for. How do they resonate with the people? Not only the people that he comes from, where he comes from, his tribesmen and women, okay? It should have a national outlook, okay? Because Wamalwa, I believe, is an aspiring presidential candidate. Last time I checked. So why should he only worry about the Luhya nation being behind him? I mean, if he has policies that everyone can relate to, loves, and feels that will revolutionize the system in Kenya, then everyone from every part of Kenya will rally around him, not just people from his backyard. Of course, Eugene Wamalwa has some history that most people might not, kind of like. But let's continue. This is how we have it so wrong with this guy. Let's continue.
Hamwezi kwenda kukodisha viongozi na mko na viongozi hapa. Itakuwa hiyo ni hesabu gani mnapiga? So we are willing to work with Eugene Wamalwa and other leaders. But it is a responsibility yenu kama jamii kupatia yeye nguvu na kumpatia yeye ile weight ya kuja kwa meza na kusema basi mimi nimekuja niko hapa 5 million. We want you to back me to be president. This is what I brought on the table. And these people are united. But if you are not united behind that leader, how will he negotiate with other leaders from other regions? And that is myself the battle that I had with President William Ruto, because alitaka katakata watu yangu into smaller units. You know, anaweka Mount Kenya East hapo, anaweka hapo kando, anachukua Murang'a, anaweka hapo. Katakata ndio atukalie, atutawale. President of Kenya, lakini kwa jamii there are leaders there ambaye utafanya kazi na hawa, but huwezi kuja direct kwa hawa. Lazima ukue na hawa wamejipanga. There is nothing to unite us. It's to unite as a region so that you go and engage other regions who are also equal. Most of those analysts are not from that region. They don't understand that region. That region learned bitter lessons in the year 1992 and 1997, when out of lack of experience, we fell into the machinations of President Moi and divided the region. Some people behind Kibaki and others behind Matiba, and we lost. Since the year 2002, we have remained united all the time, and that is why we are always in government, and that is why we are going to be the next government. The mountain is one. In fact, we have even now, the Kamba people have come in as Mount Kenya South. The mountain is getting larger. Na tunataka hata nyinyi watu ya Mlima Elgon pia tuungane. Tukue watu moja so that we can make progress. So those are people who are wishing that the mountain is divided so that they can manipulate us politically. I can assure you they'll be sorry, they'll be ashamed. The mountain will vote in one basket. To a man, 99% they'll vote in one basket. Hiyo ingine ati kugawanya, you can divide leaders. Those leaders ambayo wanatumika na rais kugawanya watu ya mlima, none of them can go home for Christmas. That tells you. Viongozi wako, they are divided. Some are in Mombasa, some are in Eldoret, others in Nairobi. None of them can go to the mountain because the mountain itself is solid. And it has said those are traitors to the community. They cannot go home because they are being used by the president to divide the community. And the community has refused. I want to ask the people of Western to have unity of purpose, to be one as Western region. The 4 counties, plus your diaspora in Nairobi and Mombasa, talk as one. Put together 5 million votes and agree to come out on the voting day. And I can assure you, if you do that, you will be in government for eternity. You will never be out of government. But if you continue being...
So the goal is to be in the government. Jesus. What is this? Just be in the government. That's. Let me just finish this first, and I'll talk about the nonsense he's talking about. It's pretty
being divided, and you continue dealing with national matters through proxy, through a third party. Where will you go as a region? And don't you have competent sons and daughters who can lead this region? Why do you need a third party to lead your community? You can just come directly to the national table as the Luya nation and bargain and negotiate your stake in whatever government that will be formed directly without going through a third party.
Considering the laws that the impeachment.
Again, very quickly before he answers that question, this whole idea of saying all the people of this community should rally around and vote under one leader. First of all, they are human beings. They're not robots. You can't just have, 50 million or whatever the case, or all right, whatever the case is, 2 million or 3 million of Mulembe Nation. I don't know how much people are there in Western Province, but you don't expect each and everyone there to just vote for one. They have independent minds. They can listen to some leaders and wanauza sera zao, and they digest what they've had, internalize and see if they want to vote for the candidate or not. But they're not robots. Why should you expect them to vote for one Wamalwa or Eugene Wamalwa just because ni kijana ya kijana Wamalwa? I mean, brother yake kijana Wamalwa, or Papa Aroma because as the Speaker of the House, or whatever the case is. I mean, these are human beings. So no, I don't advocate that. If you are a leader who wants to lead this nation, you shouldn't be worried about just your tribe. Have a national outlook in your approach when you want to sell whatever you are selling, policy or whatever the case is. It should be incorporating everyone. Wacha hii mambo ati sijui I have to get my own people back. No. You have to transcend past your parochial borders, okay? So this mambo ati sijui watu waninio unite under one leader. If you want to do that as watu Mount Kenya, that's fine. If you want to do that, but even in Mount Kenya, not everyone in Mount Kenya will vote for Uhuru or whatever the case is. They vote for somebody else. Even last elections, kuna watu walipigia Kasongo, wengine walipigia Raila, wengine walipigia. People are not robots. Yes, the majority might go for one candidate, but there's always people and they should be free to vote for whoever they deem fit, according to their level of understanding. But our job is to inform the population on the kind of leader they should vote for, okay? Not telling people that you should rally around one leader, then let that leader go meet with another leader of another community, then they sit down, then they choose who is going to actually lead the what kind of thinking is this? Okay. All right. Anyway.
And you are the leader of the mountain. And it's likely that you might not be able to work the political level. Public office for another 10 years. Are you considering on to any other person to push your agenda, or you can end up on the table, or you are going to challenge that in court?
I think let's cross the bridge when we reach there. The matter is in court and is ongoing. And irrespective of the outcome, I'm a leader in this country. And I have my own following, which has not been affected by the impeachment. The people of Kenya never impeached me. It's just a few MPs who are given money, senators. That is it. But I still have a large following. I have people who depend on me for political leadership. And there are many Kenyans who can lead. I don't have to be in office. Okay? There are many Kenyans, and I'm not a selfish person. I am somebody who is open-minded. What we want is the best for this country. And we have many leaders, including the ones from Western Kenya, who can lead this country. You know, and we cannot, I don't want to say.
Okay. I like this comment here. He said, Peter Kimani is saying, you have to unite your people first, then go and look for friends. Kenyan's leadership is not a university leadership. Okay, let me use an example. A perfect example is, let me use this. Mtu wa Mabanga alikuwa anaitwa nani? Wajakoya. Okay? As cheesy as Wajakoya sounded, okay, with his, selling hyenas testicles and kuzabangi and all this nonsense he was coming up with, people were rallying around Wajakoya, whether he went to Western, whether he went to Kisumu, whether he went to Rift Valley, whether he went to Central Province. People were rallying around Wajakoya. Why? Because the issues he was talking about resonated with the people. Okay, he had some outlandish, not your everyday political ideas that politicians, the usual stuff. But, your idea ya bangi, cutting down debts, how we can have more revenue and pay our debts. And you see what I'm saying? He didn't have to go to Western Province. I understand it comes from Western Busia or somewhere. He didn't have to go to Western Province to get that support. I would use Okiamtata. Again, another lawyer man. No one cares if you talk about Okiamtata, the last thing you'll think about is his tribe. The first thing that pops out is, okay, this the guy that chained himself on the parliament. Not that I support him, I still find him as a suspect. But I'm just using that example. Okiamtata didn't have to go back to Busia and say, okay, nyinyi watu wa Busia na watu wa Western Province, please back me up before I go and kutana na watu wengine. You see, he has a national outlook. Even people, the hardest Raila supporter will look at Omkia twice. That's what I'm talking about. So I think differently. You might say, okay, you need to unite your own people before you go. I don't believe that. I don't believe you have to get, just because I'm a Mijikenda, okay, I have to the support of the Mijikenda people before I go to Nairobi. Not necessarily. If the policies, if my ideas resonates well with the people like what I'm saying, and they feel like what I'm saying is pragmatic, can be used and can revolutionize the system, I don't have to worry about just the Mijikenda tribes to support for my support. I can go to Nyanza and they still accept me. I can go to Central Province and they'll still accept me. They can go to Rift Valley and they still accept me. Why do you think people are so talking about Okiamtata before this whole Kibet thing started? Why? Why do people say, The people, in fact, people outside of Busia are making more noise than even the Busia people. And he's from Busia. So I'm not buying this whole thing that you need to unite your own people before you go out there. Because that's exactly what these people are doing. That's exactly what Raila Odinga is doing. That's exactly what Rigathi Gachagua is doing. That's exactly what Ruto is doing. That's exactly what Kalonzo Musyoka is doing. They want to make you feel like you need to support a certain person from your community. If you come from that community, that is the person you should vote for because it comes from your community. So mukutane kama waloya, vote for Eugene Wamalwa. We don't care about his dodgy past, being part of the neo government, corrupt government, or his lawyer. Tumpigie, mini lawyer, yeni lawyer, that's enough vote. Let's galvanize around him. Rally around him. No, I don't buy that. But we can agree to disagree. Agreeably. But that's a good comment.
What will happen in court, we have a court case, and we think the court will give us justice that is favorable to us. But it doesn't matter whatever it is that we are talking to the people, and the people are listening to us. And they are not listening to me because I am in office. I am not in office. They are listening to me because I have something to offer, And if I was as useless as the ones we pictures wanted us to be, you'll not be following me all over and disrupting my meetings. If you look at newspapers and the social media, all the government people, they just talk about me every day, much more than they were even talking when I was in office. Which means I have something to offer, and I have some significant contribution to make to the politics of this country. So we'll continue engaging. Yeah.
In the crevices of the soil, stars are born.
Sorry, guys, it's commercial.
We have a desperate regime that has lost favor with the people of Kenya. Desperate people do desperate things. A police officer threw tear gas at us. The meeting went on, and the people were dealt with by Wananchi. Wananchi are protecting our meetings. Our Wananchi will not allow that kind of nonsense anywhere. So the meeting still went on. Nothing stopped the meeting. These are just desperate people. They have nothing to offer the people of Kenya. There are so many questions, abductions they cannot answer, cost of living they cannot answer, poor economic management they cannot answer. They are left to desperate acts of trying to stop our meetings. In fact, those acts of trying to stop our meetings make the people more agitated by the government, and they become very rebellious. So to us, it's neither here nor there.
Yes, thank you, guys. Shout out to Mr. Njiru Mwaura. He has a channel just like mine talking about politics, and that's wonderful stuff. Please go to his channel and subscribe, share, like, comment. Njiru Mwaura on the comment section, the one I highlighted there, has a political channel. Please go to his YouTube channel, type in YouTube or Google, and you'll find Njiru Mwaura on YouTube. Please go there and subscribe, like, share, comment, and do all that good stuff. Nice seeing you, Njiru. All right, let's go back to Gachagua.
It's just an act of desperation by a regime that has lost credibility, that has lost legitimacy, that has lost the goodwill of the people of Kenya. And when people are desperate, they are out to do desperate things.
Those who say that their attacks are planned by people so that they can fix it.
Do you want to believe that kind of thing? Do you want to believe anything this government is saying? They say there are no abductions. President said more than 5 times there are no abductions. He seems to have changed his mind and said he is going to stop the abduction. So if he's going to stop the abductions, who was doing them? Do you believe anything these people say? These people will say anything. They are not believable anymore. People are tired of lies, you know, and everything is there. It's on video. People can see what was happening. A fellow was arrested last night. The Inspector General of Police ordered that he be released unconditionally because they were behind it, and he's a police officer. But those are desperate acts. They change nothing. They just pick the people more a burden.
Just on that, you have been claiming that he's after.
Who else do you think will be after my life? The answer is you all know the answer. I did not add anything more.
On that reduction, you had said that
Yes. Yes. I said they need to dismantle that unit. I didn't want to name the building because there are people there doing businesses, and you'll be putting that building and the people in that building into danger.
Okay. Here's the thing. Let me just, you can go watch the whole interview on Mutembei or somewhere else. Just type in Rigathi Gachagua's interview in Kakamega. You can listen to the whole thing. I think I had it earlier before. But here's the thing. Here's the point that I wanted to make, which is a big pointer. Then I'll kind of open the session for some people to come in and just give their views on what they want to say. Okay. Yes. Mas, what you're saying, Kenyans need to avoid recycling these useless people calling themselves leaders. Absolutely. And this is the point I wanted to make. See, the thing is, if the leaders, so-called leaders, these people who call themselves leaders, if they see that the population is changing and is no longer buying into their crap, their lies, their modus operandi, okay, they try to wanacheza mchezo wa town. Me, I personally, I call it kalongolongo. You know, wanna switch up vitu, eh? Let's change the cabinet, or let's pretend now we are enemies so that these people can feel sorry for you and you are the bad guy, I'm the good guy, then tutakuja pamoja during election. So what is happening with this Gachagua is this. If you listen to the whole interview, he says, I support the Gen Zs and I'm happy with what they're doing in the internet, TikTok, whatever, social media, by, you know, putting pressure on this government. All of a sudden he's now fighting the government, right? And his solution is, but I would like them to do something more, which is I want them to register to vote. Waende wakachukue kitambulisho, register to vote. Okay? That is solution. We can all sit here and agree that without an IBC, even if we have an IBC under Ruto's watch, okay? Because remember, every independent institution in Kenya is somehow influenced by the executive, which is Ruto, head of the state. Yeah. Sawa, nitaweka link kidogo, nitaweka link. Just wacha nini make key point alafu nitaingiza kila mtu. So what I'm trying to say is this. With how IBC is right as of right now, okay? Even if you put Gachagua to be the head of IBC, Ruto will still be the president, okay? So telling the young folks that Munakwa will register or vote, I don't believe that. There's also one thing, and I was discussing this with Wangira one time, and Wangira was making the point that, you know, places like Western and Nyanza and some, you know, Izo sides are western part of Kenya. There's usually lower, there's always lower turnout when it comes to voting. I tend to disagree. I think, in my opinion, again, my opinion, I might be wrong. I think in every elections, there's always some foul play to some level, okay? To some level, there's always some foul play. Because if you remember 2013, we were being told that the votes that came out of Rift Valley and Central, even 2007, the votes that came out of Rift Valley and Central was so large that it was enough to overshadow the voters in Coast, Nyanza, Western, and other places. You know, basically saying that Coast Province had a lower turnout, Nyanza Province had a lower turnout, Western Province had a lower turnout, Ukambani had lower turnout, but in Nyanza, sorry, but in Central Province and Rift Valley, there was higher turnout that, it was enough to Ruto to win the elections. I don't buy that. That's a lie to me, in my opinion. I think that's a lie. But what I'm trying to say is this. The solutions that Rigathi Gachagua is offering are solutions that will take us right to where we are right now. It will not remove these people. Because remember, if you listen to that whole interview in its entirety, what he's basically proposing and what he's hinting at is him along with Eugene Wamalwa, Kalonzo Musyoka, even say the Ukambani will be south of Mount Kenya. Okay, they are joining the mountain. The mountain is becoming bigger. So basically, him along with Eugene Wamalwa, yule mtu wa Tawe, I forgot his name, the Tawe guy. Nani, what's his name? Kalonzo Musyoka, I've mentioned him. Then who else? These leaders from Western Province. And Matiang'i. Remember, Matiang'i is also running for president. Okay? You see Matiang'i, since sasa unaona wameanza kushikana wameshikana na Uhuru tena wanaenda wedding. Okay? And you saw Uhuru is okay, akusaini rafiki ya nani, walikuwa na handshake huko Ichaweri na Ruto, and we were told they were enemies. What I'm trying to say is this. This whole people that Gachagua is going to form this alignment coalition that you want to call are all Uhuru Kenyatta's minions. Remember, these are people who worked for Uhuru Kenyatta. Wamalwa was in Uhuru Kenyatta's regime. Tawe was PS wa wapi vile alikuwa anafanyia Uhuru Kenyatta. Okay, Kalonzo can be bought by anyone. How much money do you have? Get him. Okay, you see what I'm saying? Matiang'i was the CS of Interior for Uhuru Kenyatta. These are all Uhuru Kenyatta minions. And remember, Rigathi Gachagua is what? Was the personal assistant for Uhuru Kenyatta. Okay? Now, look at Ruto. Ruto now, sin handshake ndio hiyo washashikana, si ndio? Sasa ni marafiki. But now, in the public, we are being told that Gachagua amekasirika sana na Ruto, na Ruto anampupia polisi kila siku, anamletea polisi hapa kila siku kwa sababu hizo vitu anatoboa. He's not saying anything new. Anatuambia ati the president knows who's abducting this. Kwani tulikuwa tujui? You think Kenyans didn't know that, okay? But he's saying this to score this political ninio, to divide the mlima wazidi kukaa hivyo, kwa sababu that is done by design. 2027 tukifika huko, tusipotoa Kasongo by 2025, this is what's going to happen. This is going to happen. Raila atatoka AU. Raila ameshindwa. Raila will start making his own alliance, okay? Obviously atajifanya sasa nimekosana, wakina Joho wakishafukuzwa kazi na hilo, kwa sababu Ruto keeps on changing the cabinet every day. In fact, Gachagua told us that Ruto is the one. The changes in the cabinet is Ruto's appointments. He does it every day and it will change nothing. Akiamka akitaka kuweka sijui nani huko, ataweka hata Faruk vice president tomorrow, okay? So what I'm saying is this. Once Raila gets defeated in February, he'll come back and answer opposition, which will be another mchezo wa town. The same way you see mchezo wa town between Ruto and Gachagua. This is to create the Gema, okay? Gema na Wakamba versus Raila. In fact, I won't be surprised kana nani watarudiana. Versus Raila na watu wa Coast, okay? And all that, because Raila will start behaving as if anajifanya sasa yeye pia kwa opposition amekosana na Ruto, so that he can gain in hiyo. Ndio usinumesikia ameanza kuzungumza mambo ya abduction hata yeye. So they are basically trying to, like I always say here, they are trying to get everyone into their own political pockets, so to speak, okay? Political tribal cocoons. Ndio maana unaona Gachagua na kuambia nyinyi mnafaa, if you are a leader, rally around one person, instead of saying uniting all Kenyans under an ideology, okay, or an idea, manifesto, policies that will help people, okay? Tribeless, partyless. Yeah, that's not an ideology, but I'm just saying that's a mantra. But I'm just saying you can unite Kenyans under one idea of every part of Kenya getting services. Not saying that nyinyi mnafaa I was negotiating with you for you, president awapatie 30%. I was negotiating for you, mupate 25%. So, I was negotiating for my people to get. That is not how you govern. There's a constitution in place that takes care of how the national resources is to be divided. And you have the National Assembly, the senators, the governors, the MCS, basically the representatives who can advocate for a specific part of the nation if they need extra kind of help. You see what I'm saying? For him to come out and say, "Oh, nyinyi watu wa sijui nini," is doing the very thing Ruto wants you to do, the very thing Uhuru wants you to do, the very thing Raila wants you to do, the very thing Kalonzo wants to do. Mchezo ya kujiweka ati yao sasa ndio malida, alafu wanakutana and then they decide for you, na mnabaki hapo hapo na mnaendelea na hii mchezo ya ninio. Wacha niwaekee ninio hapo basi. I won't stay for long. I'll put it, tutaingia hata let's say 30 minutes alafu ninio. Sawa, wacha niwaekee link for those who want to ingia wacheze hiyo, waseme vile wanasema, tukiendelea mbele ama namna gani. By the way, yes, I saw the ninio on South B. Kulikuwa na what was it? There was another ninio, but yeah. So there's the ninio, there's the link. We'll go for like 30 minutes basically, alafu nitafunga. So get in, if you get in, munipatie maoni yenu. I'm trying to go watch that Liverpool versus West Ham. I think West Ham will win. Gypsy Corner, you know what's up. But anyway, link ndio hiyo, ingieni 30 minutes. If niyo kama mwezi kuingia 30 minutes, that's fine. Me nitaenda niangalie ball. I'm a football fanatic. Okay? But anyway, so that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying basically. Wangira is in. Karibu Wangira. Karibu Wangira. What do you think about matamshi ya ex vice president or deputy president?
Oh, before I comment on what Rigathi Gachagua said today in Kakamega, we must agree as the people of Kenya that we are at a place where we were last in the 1980s, and especially after the abortive coup of 1982, where nobody in the country was safe, where there were gangs in the name of the special branch, who were going up and down, picking people, or putting people into incommunicado. We seem to have returned to that particular time of history where nobody today is safe. And, it's no longer now even about the economy, but it's about the safety of the people of Kenya. It's about the safety of the people of Kenya. For us who are in this country, you don't know, what is really happening, whether you are safe, whether you sleep in your bed, or whether people will be coming for you. It is a scary moment, for many, many people. For example, it's over 72 hours, after William Samoei Ruto told the people of Kenya, kwamba hii manene abduction tutakomesha. And we still have many families that have not seen their loved ones. Just like you put it, last evening in Nairobi, South B, another Kenyan was abducted. So where are we headed to as a country? That is the question that we must ask ourselves. Where are we headed to as a country? There's something that I believe in, that, in this world, nobody is an angel. That is point one. Secondly, that, the way they say it, that, the enemy of your enemy is your friend. It could have been your enemy, but immediately becomes the enemy of your enemy. That person becomes your friend. Because, we live in this world and, we are all mortals and nobody is an angel. And, we are being confronted by a very, very serious issue. It has moved from, what I've told you, economics. It's now going into the safety of ordinary people of the Republic of Kenya. Even during the Moi's time, Moi never used to abduct ordinary people. They were not ordinary people, on the streets. I was just watching Citizen TV. You see the type of people who have been abducted. The Wakina Mama Boga, very small people in the society, who don't matter as much. More used to go for the top cream, the academia, the members of the academia, the political class. He never used to go for the ordinary Kenyans. But, we are seeing a scenario where this government, I want to use this government because, even Raila Odinga, when he was being interviewed the other day, he said that, some of those things that are being seen by the people who are abducting, Kenyans, including handcuffs, these can only be things that are these are things that can only be acquired by the government. It's only the government that can acquire handcuffs. Secondly, even monitoring the movement of an ordinary citizen, using his mobile phone, that's technology, that means that, there's somebody who can access, the mobile data of a citizen, and, to access that mobile data, you need help, and, that help could come only from the government. So just like Raila said that, the hands are pointing at the government, so I'll say that, this government seems to be abducting ordinary Kenyans. Where do we stand? For example, me, I'm in this country. Where do we stand? How safe am I as an ordinary Kenyan today, and especially as a critic of this government? And, that's why, it has reached a point that, as the people of Kenya, we must come up with, I don't want even to discuss about Rigathi, but I want to discuss about the safety of ordinary people. Because, anytime you feel unsafe, it's not a very, very good thing. Anytime you are not sure whether you spend a night in your house or whether people will come to pick you at night, it does not feel very, very comfortable. And, we are there. We seem to be there. And even after we were told that in 72 hours ago, we were told that the water commercial. But, we have not seen any change, Things seem to be continuing, as normal, People are trying to send, shivers onto Kenyans, so that, people can feel intimidated. The whole essence of this blackmail, the whole essence of this abductions, is to send fear on the people of Kenya, so that, they cannot express themselves. It's a normal script in countries like Uganda. It's even a more script, in a country like Rwanda, where, even if you're in a bar and you're discussing, you must be very careful. The other time I told you that in the 1880s, people used to say that even wolves have ears. We have attained that level where in Kenya, we are saying that even wolves have ears. You are not very sure, even if you're traveling in a matatu and somebody is seated next to you, you are not sure about, who this neighbor of yours in a matatu is. So, we are at a bad place, other than that economic point, because now we are dealing with the safety of the ordinary people. And, the question would be, and, I throw this ball to the court of every Kenyan, how do we deal with a scenario? How do we deal with a situation, where the security of ordinary people like you and many others, is not guaranteed, where you can be kidnapped at any point, How do we deal with that particular situation, without embarking more on what Gachagua said, let me just leave it at that point and allow somebody else to come in. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Wangira. Ayaga, yes, karibu sana. Tuambie, najua uko na moto ya baba na mambo ingine. Let's hear it. You have people who will deal with you accordingly, circumphoniously.
Asante sana. Wacha nisalimie Kips na Wangira na wewe. Mi kitu nasema ni moja. I was also watching the interview hiyo tukiveni ulikuwa una-analyze. I'm telling people that Rigathi Gachagua can't be the solution. He can't be the solution. He can't be the option, I mean. He can't be an option to anybody, even himself. Kwa sababu, this is a guy who tested power. You remember how this guy disrupts and ruthlessly deal with the maandamano that we had last year around March, single-handedly, and he used to go to the office by 5 and ensure that he killed Kenyans from all corners. Now that one I will not go there. But what I want to say to Kenyans, those who will go to maandamano tomorrow, I'm in Nairobi, I wish you well. I wish you well. So Nyinyi and Deni too. But me, I'm warning many people don't go in that maandamano. maandamano. You know, the government was scared, so they will use all crude means. Na kama unaenda, do ensure mko kwa group na mko kwa open space na avoid this elter skelter running. You know, those are the tactics of maandamano. So ukienda maandamano, be very careful. We don't want tomorrow in the evening to be here morning or telling or saying a friend has been abducted or whatever. You know, this abduction thing is very wrong. It is very bad. Me, I come from a community which has suffered a political assassinations more than anybody in this republic. I come from a region where we have buried the greatest people. A county, only a county, CI county alone as actually bear the brand of to be the face of people who have been killed, abducted and killed, some hostile driving, what we call the hostile surveillance, killed on the road. So I don't wish anybody or any people or anywhere from the country to suffer that. But I'm telling these young people, even if we are doing these AI generated images, please, Rachel is a mother. You know, let us deal with the Kasungu. Tuachane na familia yake. That is always what I always tell people. Tuachane tu na familia ya rais. Tuachane na bibi yake. I saw today a full naked woman kwa mtandao bwana. It is not good. It is not good. You know, we are not only in Kenya where we are advanced in technology of criticism. Other country does. Even in US, they are doing that. Even in UK, but we have not seen them having the first lady of United States. No, my brothers. Now, no. You know, sometimes you push people. You know, me, you can criticize me, you can abuse me, you can say what you want to me, but my family is red line. That one I will deal with you separately, outside the government, separately, and according to the law. Let us criticize Ruto with things that are based in government. Let us not bring these issues of bringing naked Mama Radio. You do here now. You are going deep into your that one as a man. He will leave the presidency alone, goes to his home at Narok, and he will control things from there because the family is attacked. No, I'm just saying, people. I'm just telling our brothers. Let us criticize the government on our own in a good way. Not that things I'm seeing on the social media. I feel for those who have been abducted. I feel for their families. I know what those young men are going through. I am also calling for their release. But even as we criticize, let us leave the families alone. Moi always deal with the people. Nimekubaliana na Wangira 100%, because those people are going to the politics, leaving their family behind. Raila was jailed. Ida was brought anywhere in the picture. Yes, he suffered here and there because the harassment of the state. But most of the majority of Odinga's family was spared. Yeah. Even when Moi took over, he never goes to Jaramogi's wives, kids, and others. Only the ones who are involved in politics. So, tafadhali, my brothers, as we criticize the government, let us do it in a very respectful manner. Nikimalizia na hii maneno ya Rigathi Gachagua na watu wa mlima, I want to tell them one thing. That many people say I'm tribal. I'm not tribal. I have never been a tribal in my life. I'm born in Mombasa, brought up in Nairobi. Mimi ni mtu mkora wa kawaida, mwizi wa hii town. So siwezi chukia mtu, na mimi nafanya na hii watu wote, hata akunanga, hata watu hawajuagi saa zingine mimi ni kabila gani. Sasa nasema hivi, mandugu zangu kutoka Central, the election in 2027, if you guys are not careful, some people are setting you up. We have been set up several times, so I know the tactics. Nimecheza hiyo siasa ya opposition, so naijua na naielewa vizuri. So I've been there. So nikiona masukuma kwa hiyo kona ya kukua being hated by everybody, naona hata hizi appointment Ruto alimake juzi, na naona mmetoka. This is to actually set you up against other community. I'm telling you this one thing. There is political entitlement to achane nayo, to embrace where I can be president of this country. A Korea can be a president of this country. And when these people become president of this country, Kenya itakuwa imetulia na Kenya itakuwa inaenda mbele. Mimi sitakaa hapa nikiimba na nyinyi how I will abuse Kasongo. I will not do that because I have sijawahi support Kasongo, and that's why I'm not supporting Gachagua and that characters. I will not support them. I have never voted for them because even the problem we have today, this thing called Kasongo, that some people now want us to dance with them. They are even crying more than they breathed. But the people vote Kasongo to punish other people. They use their numerical numbers to vote Kasongo to punish other people. Now, if those people outsmart you and now laughing at you, cry alone. Eric Ayaga is not there. And I will never do that. My brother, cry alone. Na once umecry, na cry brief. Lia haraka alafu tumia akili. Ukianza kutumia akili, tukae hapo mbele, tukatoe Kasongo na tujenge Kenya ya kila mtu. Unajua this thing, the problem we call tribal in country today was brought by Kibaki. In 2002, I was young, but people voted for a united Kenya. When Kibaki took over power, he called himself with people called Mount Kenya Mafia. People like Karua. These are the people who almost brought down this country. And when they almost brought down this country in 2007, they did worst thing that a human being should not do. Wao ndio wametuweka hapa, hiyo political entitlement with the people like Martha Karua. We will not here to tell them. Thank you very much.
Haya, kunywa maji. Hiyo pombe ulikunywa umeambiwa hapo ilikuwa mbaya jana. Anyway, kabla sijaleta kifa hapa. Another angle you can think, maybe they're trying to set up Baba for 2027 because akitoka February, the alignment ishatengenezwa huko. Alignment ya watu wa Uhuru wote na Gachagua na wataingia maybe na Ruto. By the time wanafika huko, Western imeenda, Kalonzo ameenda, nani ndio huyo Gachagua na Mount Kenya imeenda, watabaki na Joho na hiyo peke yake and others na imeenda, alafu wataingia maandamano tena. But anyway, I won't exploit that. Wacha tusikie nani umegwaruza Martha Karua, and kuna mtu ambaye I think he's involved in Martha Karua's movement, so prepare for some some punches. Karibu Kip.
Mbona unashika milima times 2 bana? Endelea na Gachagua yako, wachana na hii milima ingine. Martha has never done anything. By the way, sometimes people think that election was fair. It was the most unfair election. We didn't even know who won. First of all, hiyo kampi ya Raila ilikuwa inaiba, hiyo kampi ya Kibaki inaiba. Martha Karua was a defender. She defended her client to the best and she did her job well. Kama nyinyi mlishikana na Ruto ni mwizi number 1, hiyo ni shida zenu Ayaga. That's your own problem. That election was the most unclear. So wachana na Martha. Leave her alone. It's got nothing to do with you guys sleeping with Ruto. Kama mnataka kwenda na Ruto Ayaga, you go praise your president the way you want. And first of all, I'm not for the nude pictures and all that garbage that people put about Rachel, but she's not innocent. She's not an innocent bystander. She costed us millions and millions of Kenya shillings, or not dollars, millions and millions. Ametoroka kama kawaida. When they hear the truth, they run away. They costed us millions and millions of Kenya shillings to bring Benny Hinn. Siju crusade. Kuja tufanye crusade hapa. Who says that Muslims wanted a crusade? Who said we wanted to see Benny Hinn? The atheists, kuna watu wa nini Legion Maria, kuna watu wa Hindus who said they wanted to see Benny Hinn, yet the state funded that. Then who says we needed prayer warriors? Who said we needed prayer warriors in State House? Why is it that every single government function, it starts with a prayer? For what? Yes, it's in our constitution. It's in our. It is in our national anthem, but it's a God for all, not just the Christian God. So tuache ujinga, tuache utoto. Hii ni ujinga mingi sana. He's coming here to preach that he wants you at he's trying to praise Ruto. Hey, Stone PK arudi bana. Stone PK must come back. I recognize that logo. Wewe arudi bana. Wewe lazima arudi. Stone PK must come back.
Sijamwona for a while.
Acha nitamtext hapo kwanza sana. Come back. I know his logo.
Mimi nimeona hapo hata nikashangaa. Lakini karibu sana Stone PK, wherever you are. Kuja uongee, udeal na mchapani hapa na Yaga. Sorry Cape, ulikuwa in the middle of your ninio. I hope sikukukata.
No, we need Stone PK back. Stone PK is the voice of reason here.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to say today, Kenyans, protect yourself. It's gotten to the point that we need to protect ourselves. Tuache ujinga. You cannot be kidnapped by people that Ruto, Murkomen, IG are saying they don't know who they are. If you don't know who these guys are, protect yourselves. Protect yourself as Kenyans. Why are we sharing fruit? War.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kill. You have to protect yourself.
Kuna connection problems.
Yes, connection problem. But you understand what I'm saying here? Protect yourself as Kenyans.
Reiterate that point again.
What was going to defend yourself at all points. The government doesn't know who these crooks are. The police chief doesn't know who these people are. Ruto says network yake ni mbaya. Just texted me right now. The police don't know who they are. Nobody in the government knows who these people are. So protect yourself as much as you want, Kenyans. You've been given the green light. Isn't that true? Ruto says he doesn't know who they are. Murkomen says he doesn't know who they are. The police say they don't know who they are. So, Kenya Rebel, isn't it our right to defend ourselves?
Absolutely.
This evening, kuna moja karibu walio na youths ni moja. Gari karibu ichomwe. It's well in their right.
Leo.
And this is nothing to talk. I'm not talking about inciting people towards hate here. It is protection of oneself. You cannot be kidnapped by persons that the government do not know who they are. We don't know who they are. And I go with that narrative, Kenya Rebel.
Yes.
If
and
they
you're
lose
right.
their lives trying to kidnap you, if they lose their lives trying to kidnap you, it was self-defense.
Yes. Yes, because the government they don't know who they are. If they're not police, then who are they? Then they're thieves, they're thugs. They're not uniform.
Yeah, COVID is over. There's no more COVID. I don't know why they're wearing masks, these thugs. So if you're coming to so-called arrest me with a mask, me napita nae. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hurt you. I hurt you.
It makes sense.
Because I don't know who you are. The government doesn't know who you are. We don't know who you are. I haven't received any phone call from the police to come for a warrant of my arrest. Anguka
and what you are being arrested for.
Yes. Because
they have to identify. They have to identify themselves. Tell you why they are arresting you. Wezi kushikwa tu hivyo bure. I think Wangira was telling us about the part of the law that says that the police has to identify themselves na wakwambie what charge or what reason they want to arrest you. Mtu akikuja tu na silaha hivi anataka kushika, anataka kuabduct and doesn't identify themselves and they're wearing civilian uniform na wako na weapon. And the government has said that they don't know these people.
And mask.
Then you should exactly. So you have to take the matters. Yeah. And mask. Yes. So you're right.
And then the other thing is, why are these people? When there's corruption, they go to the EACC, whatever that stupid government
EACC,
body is. They go there with their big limousines, their big Isuzus, or whatever it is. They've been summoned. Who says Kenyans will not listen to a someone? We'll listen to a someone. We'll go to the police station, the nearest police station, if you need us to be there. There's nobody who does not want to obey the law and order. We'll go there to tender. So if anybody is coming to my place and I don't know what crime I've done, I've not committed any terrorism against the country. I have not bomb blasted anybody. I am not a dangerous criminal. There is no warrant for my arrest that is public, because most of these dangerous people, there is a warrant for their arrest and it's published in the newspapers, in the TV, most wanted or whatever it is. That's when you can come with me with all those guns or whatever it is. But these are just people who publish something on X. Are those dangerous criminals? Are those people that you come and kidnap in the middle of the night? Are you kidding me? Those are people you summon and ask them questions. If it is indeed treason, let them have enough time to get lawyers to come to the police station and then tell you wajitetee. Vionja mahakamani, mstakio utajitetea ukiwa wapi. But first, follow due process. Follow due process, Kenyans. Hii ni mchezo kubwa sana. So mimi, as Kenyans, munikujia hata mimi vile mnasema. Kita na mtu bana. Pita na yeye. Defend yourself. Defend yourself. Because the government has denied, they don't know who these people are.
We need your contribution.
Watu wa maandamano kesho.
Yeah. Go ahead, sorry.
Watu wa maandamano kesho, I wish you well until there is a united front, because some of you are saying 6th, akina Osama Utero, akina Bonis, mnatudanganya. So let's see what the Gen Zs are going to do here again. Me and Kenya Rebel, we still don't think you're serious. I don't think you're serious because this announcement of Mandamanos is a waste of time.
Kuna ya kesho,
so me, Monday.
Kuna Monday na kuna Tuesday at 31st. Then I don't know which one the other one. So I don't know which is which. But wanaweza kwanza Monday waendelee Tuesday.
But this timetable nonsense, I'm not with it. I'm not with it. I just going to tell you the truth. At you choose. We should have started when Kibet Bull was.
Well, let's see what happened.
Abducted. We should have even continued with the Embu people. Mungeendelea na watu wa Embu. Watu wa
To
Embu
be fair,
you just relax.
To be fair to them, they told the government tumewapatia certain times porudisha Kibet. That's when we'll go to the streets or whatever the case is. So they gave the government to Niniwe, and obviously Ruto is not listening. So let's see how it pans out. I won't say it's useless. I'll just see. I mean, hata kama ni mtu mmoja ametokezea, at least somebody is expressing themselves. Again, to the point, Nani Erika Yaga, I know you don't want to see naked women on the internet, or Rachel naked, whatever the case is. Yes, that's fine. It offends you, but just because it offends you doesn't make it illegal, and that does not merit someone being abducted in the middle of the night with no charge, not being told why they are charging him or whatever the case is. That's freedom of expression. Now, if it's a matter of decency or whatever the case is, that can be dealt with in the courts if that is the case. But you come in daytime, explain to that person why they are supposed to go to court or wherever you want to arrest him or her, then do so. Sikuja usiku ati unashika mtu alafu unawapeleka huko. Anyway,
let me just say something.
Yes, I was coming to you, but go ahead.
And
let me just say something.
Is revenge porn in the Kenyan constitution yet? It's in the US, it's in the UK.
Revenge porn is illegal in the US. I don't know.
Let me articulate my point.
Yes, go ahead.
When I listen to Ayaga, it tells me, Ayanga still belongs to what I call, the political manners, the political bad manners of the 1980s and 90s, where, there was a belief that, the citizens of the country depended on the benevolence of a president. The citizens of Kenya no longer depend on the benevolence of anybody. The citizens of Kenya are guided by the law. It's the law, and the law is supreme. It does not matter whether you are the president or whether you are a street child. The law is applied equally and the law is supreme. For example, when we go to Article 49 of the Kenyan 2010 Constitution, and it's titled Rights of Arrested Persons, it's very person has the right. Get it? An arrested person has the right. Then it goes on to say to be informed promptly in the language that the person understands of the reason for the arrest, the right to remain silent, and the consequences of not remaining silent. To remain silent, to communicate with an advocate and persons whose assistance is necessary. Then it goes on to say, not to be compelled to make any confession or admission that could be used in evidence against the person, to be held separately from persons who are serving a sentence. Then it finally says he must be brought before court within a period of 24 hours. This is the law. That is the constitution that we promulgated in 2010. But listening to my friend Ayaga here, he still believes that we are supposed to enjoy the president's benevolence, the president's goodwill. It does not matter how offended the president is. It does not matter how offended he is. The president must live within the rule of law. And the law is very, very clear. If you look at the values and principles of governance, they are talking about the rule of law as one of our principles of governance. Then, what are we dealing here with? We are not dealing with a situation that is a situation of the rule of law. Are abductions, part of the rule of law? Are they? They're not part of the rule of law. Let me tell you something. You can hate the messenger, but at times it's good to pick the message. For example, today when I was listening to Rigathi when he was in Kakamega, he told President William Ruto that it's none of his business on how we are raising our own kids. It's none of his business. Some of you who are in Europe or in America, you were told that it's none of your business on how a person decides to raise his own kid. What matters, is the adherence to the rule of law. That's all that matters. You should not tell me how I bring up my son. It's none of your business. You are trying to intrude into my privacy. It's none of President William Ruto's business on how I raise up my child. But because these people are still stuck in the bad political manners of the 1980s and 1990s. They believe that we depend on the benevolence of the president, on the goodwill of the president. When the president says you get arrested, you get arrested. When he says you stay free, you stay free. When he says you breathe oxygen, you breathe oxygen. When he says that you should not breathe oxygen, you die. We are no longer in that age, my brother. My brother, get alive to the 2010 Constitution and start living within, the principles of the 2010 Constitution. Because when I listen to you, you disappoint me in a way. For example, when you say that people should not go for Mandaman, it is their constitutional right under Article 37. And, it is the work of the state to facilitate. It's the work of the state to facilitate. But if as the state becomes part of the gagism, that is trying to stumble on the rights of the citizens, we must call that state out. We must call that state out. We must call it out. Whoever feels offended, the constitution is clear. Report a case to the police. Let the police come to the person. Let the person be presented before court. But abducting people's kids, and we are talking of over 168 hours later, we don't know where they are, and your kids are comfortably in your sitting room, this is something that many Kenyans are not happy about. And we should not encourage, we should speak one language. And there's one thing I've noted, and I'll speak it here. Those who feel offended, is up to them. There is this feeling among a section of the Kenyan community that today the shoes is not on their shoe, or the foot is not the shoe, the foot is not in it's not their foot that is in the shoe. That's what they are saying. And they seem to be celebrating the atrocities. There's a section in this country that seems to be celebrating the atrocities because they believe that those atrocities that do not concern them today. But remember, we were told that they came for the Jew. And I said I was not a Jew. So today it could you could be enjoying, the comfort zone, but tomorrow it will be you, my brother, and there will be nobody to speak for you. So learn to speak against atrocities. Whether they are against your friend, whether they are against your enemy, learn to speak against any atrocities. Let me just stop there.
All right, thank you. Let Ayaga, you can respond, then let me wrap up because Daddy duties imengia. So then maybe if you want to wrap up after Ayaga, then we can go to Njiru's channel because I see he's open. We can continue the conversation there. But go ahead, Ayaga. Defend yourself.
Okay, thank you very much. I am not a kind of a guy who read a constitution or only pieces that will favor me at times. Read the constitution as a whole. I'm not an anarchist. I want to also answer my brother Wangela. I'm not an anarchist. I'm not a kind of a man who will send the innocent kids to the street, die for me. I come here to lament how they are killed, how they are being abducted. That one I will not do. I'm not an anarchist. In the same constitution, there are two ways a president can be removed in the office. In fact, there are two or three. Number one of the most is the MPs can impeach the president. That's why I'm talking about the election. If we will be electing people from MCA to MPs, people who are not capable of playing their roles and sending young people to die in the street, that is not the solution for Kenyans. Let's elect MPs that can stand with Kenyans when Kenyans need them the most. Another one, you can remove the president by collecting the signatures. It is a peaceful way. The problem, we don't have IBC that will verify those signatures. So I think those two ways are more peaceful. I believe on a white revolution, not bloody. I believe.
You're a hypocrite. You're a hypocrite.
I believe I'm hypocrite. Yes, I am. I know I'm hypocrite. I'm a hypocrite because I will not advocate for the blood of innocent Kenyans to be killed on the street, to be abducted. I will not support that.
Only when it's your blood that has been assigned or brought by Raila Amolo Odinga. The only maandamano that you co-sign is when Raila Amolo Odinga says it, because we are with you on the other channels when you said twende maandamano kwa sababu Raila Amolo Odinga amesema. Kwani yeye ni nani? Who the hell do you
Yes,
think
that's my party. That's my party. That's my party. If Martha Karua calls for maandamano, baba enda tu, enda. Mimi sitakuweko. Kama Martha Karua amekuita maandamano, wewe enda. Mimi sitaenda. Mimi ni mtu wa ODM. ODM has not functioned any maandamano. To me, Raila Odinga is my party leader.
Siku ile Raila Amolo Odinga analeta maandamano, Munjo anakuja kutuambia twende maandamano, because I was
yes, wewe usiende, mimi nitaenda. Wewe
baba number one. Now,
boss,
the one who say
you are interjecting me too much.
Why is it?
Young folks want to go fight for their own rights. When these young folks want to go to their own rights, well, this guy has let so many Luo people die, been killed.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Ruto is a good president for you. You're the most hypocritic person, because this is absolute nonsense.
Order. Why is it the show inashika moto? Ngoja kidogo. Ayaga, tulia. Why is the show inashika moto saa ile siwezi kuendeleza show? Mimi saa zile nataka kuondoka ndio saa mmeshika moto vizuri na mambo imechacha. Let me do this. Ayaga nakupatia 1 minute umalize, keep tafadhali, mwache atoe yoke kwa roho, alafu umjibu, alafu tufunge show. Njiru amefungua, tunaweza tukaendelea huko. Mimi nimeshikana kidogo, but Ayaga, go ahead, 1 minute.
Huko kwa Njiru ni that is a tribal is a dictator worse than Gachagua, siwezi kubalika huko. So what I'm saying is this, I've been blocked there several times. Keep knows that. So I'm saying this. I'm saying this. Let us read the constitution with both lenses.
Okay, now naona nini yake nini. Aya, keep please wrap it up for me, so I'll come in the evening. Yes, go ahead.
I'm gonna take 30 seconds so that Wangira can close also. For me,
okay,
Ayaga is a hypocrite. He's got selective memory, and I do not like when he talks like that. If you indeed believe in the rule of law, then you should not allow ODM people to die. Kama Burkenge. Every time that Raila goes and gets these schedules, Mandamano, let the kids do their own thing. I don't believe a lot of it is happening the way I want, but let them do it. It's their constitutional right. Do not judge what they're doing. If they want to go on the streets, let them go on the streets. So hiyo ni mambo yao. So I've done my 30 seconds because my senior Wangira needs to throw a few words, and then we'll go to Njeru's channel. And also, please, guys, subscribe to Njeru's. And if you've not subscribed to Kenya Rebels channel, 80% of you will now watch to Lakini I'm subscribed. Who subscribe? Thanks.
Thank you, Kip. Honorable Wangira, take it home.
You know, let me just conclude in one word.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just conclude in one word. You know, you see now the problem of belonging to that cult, you know, that is led by Raila Odinga. You know, that when he says left is left, right is right. When he says stand, you stand. You know, a young guy is being controlled like a robot. He doesn't seem to be having his own mind. I'm very, very sure that tomorrow, you know, if Raila Odinga tells him to go on the streets, he will be on the streets. And today he's telling us that, you know, there's no need of being on the streets, you know. And that's why, you know, it's time that people must start having their own mind, you know. And, you know, by having your own mind, you know, that's the only way we shall propel Kenya to where it's supposed to be. You know, let me just stop there.
All right, thank you so much. Wangira, I like your fire. The more I talk to you, the more the fire is coming out from you. From the day you started with Nani, Raila being the #1 ghost worker. That was a classic. But anyway, I really appreciate you guys. Unfortunately, I have to stop here. He's showing that Shikamoto but yeah. Thank you so much. Please, as Kip says, subscribe, like, share, and do all the stuff. Tundeni kwa Njiru Mwaura's channel. Please go subscribe there and like, share, and do all the good stuff. Conversation iendelee huko. I might come in back in the evening, and kesho I must report about Ninio Maandamano pia. But thank you so much, Kip. Thank you, Wangira. Thank you, what's his name? Who came here? I'm even forgetting your name. I'm sorry. Thank you for being here too, even though you had
his name. Forget that name.
No, actually, divergent views are always appreciated. Hata kama tusikizani nazo, but you know, we let them speak their piece or forever hold their piece or whatever the case is. But thank you so much, everyone in the comment section. John Dinda, Joseph Badas, Shimariam, Gypsy Corner, kama kawaida, and all of you. If I didn't mention your name, Poleni, I trust me, I appreciate you. Make sure you like, make it 100 likes, tafadhali, and subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Peace. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you later. I'm out.